The story of Saints Cosmas and Damian.
Subscribe to our channel to receive more content like this.
Once upon a time, in a world long ago, there lived two brothers named Cosmas and Damian. They were born in the ancient city of Arabia, which today we would call somewhere near the Middle East. But these brothers were no ordinary men. They were doctors. Not the kind of doctors we see today, with fancy equipment and medicines, but the kind who helped heal people using the wisdom passed down from their ancestors. Cosmas and Damian weren't just good at what they did. They were exceptionally good. They didn't ask for money for their services. In fact, they gave their healing away for free. They cared for the sick and the needy because, for them, healing was a gift to share with others. They didn't want fame, fortune, or praise. All they wanted was to do good in the world and to help people. But the story doesn't end there. These brothers lived in a time when the Roman Empire ruled over many lands, and the emperor at that time was not too fond of Christians. You see, Cosmas and Damian weren't just doctors. They were also Christians, and they were not shy about their faith. They believed that all healing and good things came from God, and they weren't afraid to tell others about it. Now, back in those days, the Roman Emperor Diocletian had made it dangerous to be a Christian. He ordered that anyone who refused to give up their faith should be punished or even killed. The emperor's men would go around searching for Christians and arresting them. One day, a man who had heard about Cosmas and Damian's healing powers went to them for help. He had a brother who was very sick with a disease that no one could cure. Cosmas and Damian, knowing how serious the illness was, immediately went to help. They didn't ask for payment or anything in return. They simply treated the man with care, and miraculously, he was healed. The brothers didn't just heal his body, they gave him hope, they gave him peace, and most importantly, they gave him their faith. But this act of kindness and healing caught the attention of the Roman authorities. They were suspicious of these two brothers who not only healed for free but also openly talked about their Christian faith. Soon, Cosmas and Damian were arrested and brought before the emperor's court. When Cosmas and Damian stood before the emperor asked them to give up their Christian faith and worship the Roman gods. If they did, they would be set free. It was a tempting offer. Many people in that time had been forced to give up their beliefs to save their lives. But Cosmas and Damian stood firm. They refused. They knew their faith was more important than anything else in the world. The emperor, furious at their defiance, sentenced them to death. But the brothers remained calm. They didn't panic. They didn't beg for mercy. They knew that, even though they were about to face death, their faith would be their reward. They prayed for strength and courage as they faced their fate. So, Cosmas and Damian were put to death. But here's where the story takes a turn that many might not expect. You see, even after their deaths, the story of Cosmas and Damian didn't end. Their legacy lived on. People remembered them, not just as doctors, but as true followers of Christ, willing to sacrifice everything to help others. And many believed that their acts of healing, their acts of kindness, weren't just ordinary. They were miracles. Some even say that after their death, there were many who claimed to be healed by them. Whether through prayers to them or the remembrance of their example, the spirit of Cosmas and Damian continued to work in the lives of others. Over time, people came to see Cosmas and Damian as patron saints of doctors, healers, and anyone who cared for the sick. In fact, to this day, they are still remembered in the Christian faith as symbols of selflessness, compassion, and unwavering faith in the face of adversity. The story of Cosmas and Damian teaches us many lessons. First, it teaches us the power of selflessness. They didn't charge people for their help, and they didn't expect anything in return. They gave what they had to others simply because it was the right thing to do. Second, it teaches us the importance of standing up for what we believe in, even when it's hard. Cosmas and Damian were willing to die for their faith, showing us how important it is to stay true to our values, even in the face of fear or pressure. Lastly, their story reminds us that acts of kindness, no matter how small or big, leave a lasting impact. Cosmas and Damian didn't set out to become famous or to become saints. They just wanted to help. But by doing so, they changed the lives of countless people, and their story still inspires us today. And so, the legacy of Saints Cosmas and Damian lives on. Not just in the stories that are told, but in the hearts of those who continue to care for the sick, the poor, and the vulnerable, just as they did. Their story is a reminder that love, compassion, and faith are the greatest gifts we can offer the world.